Well, greetings and salutations, everybody. Welcome to the Dan Talk Podcast. I'm your host, Jordan Burt. Today, I have the Mr. Fantastic himself, Jake McAnally.
Yeah, hello.
And then I got the Black Panther, the protector of Wakanda, Brandon Ashmore.
What's up? What's up?
There he is. So, guys, I appreciate you joining me today. I hope you guys are having an awesome Sunday and everything. So, today's podcast, we got three main topics we're going to talk about. First topic we're going to talk about is the Falcon Winter Soldier series. That's coming to us really, really soon next week. And then apparently there's been a lot of talk about Fantastic Four movement. So that's going to be our second topic. And then our third main topic has been a really big debate between a lot of Spider-Man fans. Is Tobey Maguire the superior Spider-Man, or is Tom Holland? We will give you our opinions, and we would like to hear y'all's opinions too when we get to it. So whenever we get to it, put your comment down below and let us know your thoughts. All right. So, guys, let's talk about the first thing, Falcon Winter Soldier. So this has been a really big thing here lately. They've been amping up a lot of advertisement and everything along with that. And so far, it's got me hooked already. I hadn't even seen the first episode, but all the trailers and the little clips and videos and whatnot, like, I honestly think they're giving us what we've been wanting, especially since WandaVision. WandaVision really didn't give us much action sequence like we usually get from the MCU, but with Falcon Winter Soldier, I think this is what we really been wanting. So, guys, Jake, Brandon, have y'all seen any of the advertisements so far? Any of the trailers or clips? Jake, you can go first.
Oh, it looks dope. There's been this missing part of our lives where Marvel just is nonstop 45 minutes of destruction, tearing up cities, ruining people's lives, and it's finally back. We're back.
Brandon, what about you, man?
Oh yeah, it's about to be a big change of pace from WandaVision, and it's gonna be awesome. I'm ready to see Falcon and Winter Soldier, kick some tail. I'm ready to see explosions, tanks rolling over cars and highways, bombs, grenades. You know what I mean? It's good. Yeah, I'm ready.
Oh, yeah. So, guys, I mean, just off the trailers and the clips and everything they've seen so far, I really like the chemistry between Falcon and Bucky. I get the real, like, I'm going to hurt you, but we're going to be the best of friends and everything. Like, it's just that really good duo chemistry that you really want in an action sequence, like a cop thriller is what they really been saying that this is going to be like and everything. You don't know whether or not they're going to murder each other or, save the day at the end of the day. So, a lot of people did get to see the first episode of it when Marvel released it to like the press and everything and the viewers and every whatnot. And a lot of people said so far it's a really positive thing. So with my predictions and everything along with it, I think we'll get something new in the sense of it won't be our stereotypical, big Marvel, powerful super being villain and everything. Because a lot of people have been saying it's going to be more grounded base. I mean, we got Baron Zemo coming back. Of course, he doesn't have any powers, but I mean, of course, he took the Avengers apart like that in Civil War. So I think we'll get a lot out of these 6 episodes. Yeah, this is a kind of short series. They said it's only going to be 6 episodes. But with y'all's prediction, Brandon, what are your predictions for this series, man?
I kind of see it as almost like a Call of Duty campaign. It's like each episode is like a Call of Duty mission. Bucky and Falcon go in and handle some business. And then it's like at the end, you're gonna have like Baron Zemo is gonna be the one that's been pulling the strings all along. With his, various ways that he, I don't know, somehow manages to do it. But yeah, I'm excited to see how they, address the end of Endgame with Captain America giving the shield over to Falcon.
Yeah.
I'm interested in seeing how they address that, and then how our government is supposed to be introducing like a new Captain America.
Yeah, agent,
right? Or we might
U.S.
get,
agent. Yeah,
yeah, U.S. agent. So I'm excited to see what happens, man. I think it's going to be great, though.
great. Jake, what are your thoughts, man? What are your predictions?
I just hope it's good. I don't know. I can't really like imagine what's gonna happen, but if it's anything like you said it's more like a cop type TV show.
Yeah, kind of
Uh,
thing, like Beverly Hill Cops and Starchy and Huss kind of thing. Just kind of that chemistry and that it'll be
are they?
serious at times, but it'll be comedic at times.
That's what I was wondering. I need a little comedic relief
Yeah.
when most of it's action, and so I'm open to anything as long as it's not wasting my time. But yeah, I would like to have that connection to the end of Endgame
Yeah.
with Cap, and just like keep the ball rolling with that
Yeah.
story and see where it takes us.
Well, guys, apparently a lot of people have been posting online that the first episode is called Steve's funeral. So we may
Oh
get the
man,
tie-in to the end game because of course, we got old man Cap at the end, and he's aged. He was like 100, and I think he said he was 120 something at the time. But of course, end game, the directors, the Russo brothers, and then the writers and everything have been going back and forth on certain topics and whatnot, like how time travel works, how changing the past doesn't change your past, but it does, and all this. So that's up for speculation. But yeah, the first episode apparently is called Steve's funeral. So that'll be interesting to see and everything, and see how that will affect the chemistry between Sam and Bucky, because they're both great friends with Steve, but in the sense, I don't think they're really that great of buddies until the series starts getting really into it. But also another thing along with that, apparently Baron Zemo, in some shape, form, or fashion, is the villain, but he's also an ally to Bucky and Sam, and everything. Along with this is what a lot of people have been speculating and everything. So we may have, what we thought was going to be in WandaVision, the big baddie of them all, and then ends up just being this one person and everything. So, but in Falcon and Winter Soldier, apparently, Baron Zemo's there, but there's other talk about other big villains in there. So, guys, let us know what you think about the Falcon and Winter Soldier. Are you excited for it just as much as we are, and everything else? Drop down in the comment and let us know. All right. So moving on to topic number 2. Topic number 2 is the Fantastic Four movie supposed to be coming to us in 2024. Now, there's been a rumor going around out there that Jennifer Lawrence has been cast as Sue Storm. Guys, I have a lot of, doubt that this is true, because we just found out the director that Kevin Feige had chose, and it's John Watts. He announced that whenever they did the presentation last year, letting us know all the movies that they're working on, all the Disney series on. So it's very interesting to hear that, the casting for it is now, and we still got 30-something years, and we don't even have writers for the movies yet. So, that just kind of blows my mind. Guys, how do y'all feel about Jennifer Lawrence being cast as Sue Storm, supposedly? Jake?
I just when she got cast, I just think they got her because she was relevant at the time. Usually that I'm not
But
I
this is
wasn't
not
really
confirmed. A lot of people are speculating and saying that she is, but Marvel hasn't came out and said specifically that she is Sue Storm herself.
well, if she is, I am still not interested. I like her when she's not in a superhero movie. I like her other movies. I
Yeah,
just don't like her in this movie in particular.
I got you. Brandon, how do you feel about it, man?
I feel strongly about this. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm not a big fan of Jennifer Lawrence in general. Like
Really?
she was cool in Hunger Games, but like, I don't know. I'm just not a big fan of her. Um, but no, this is prime time opportunity right here. If Marvel doesn't cast Jim Halpert, aka John Krasinski as Mr. Fantastic and his real life wife, Emily Blunt, as Mrs. Fantastic, then they drop the ball. And if
And
for
me
some
as his
reason,
stunt double.
exactly,
Yes.
or the second option, if for whatever reason he doesn't take the role, then Jake McAnally is the obvious second option.
By all
Yes.
means, Marvel Studios, this is your Mr. Fantastic. Okay, come on now.
He's right. Look at that.
But yeah, no,
So-
Brandon, I agree with you completely, man. Like in my opinion, Jennifer Lawrence in superhero movies has not been great. You said The Hunger Games. The Hunger Games was good. I will say The Hunger Games was okay. But
Yeah.
in the X-Men, that new little trilogy with the past and everything, the younger version of like Charles and Magneto and everything, when they cast Jennifer Lawrence as Mystique, you know, that was an interesting move. And I mean, each time she showed up on screen with them, it just felt like her acting just went down. Like she didn't really care and didn't put too much into the role. So
yeah,
that's where I'm kind of with Jake. I really don't want her to be cast as Sue Storm, especially when this is our third reboot of the Fantastic Four in the last 15 years. You know, I mean, come on. I don't want this to be ruined. I love the Fantastic Four. Now, granted, I will say, as I was younger, when the movies came out, the first reboot of Fantastic Four, I liked it. I enjoyed it. Was it a great
Yes.
storyline? But it gave me my, my superhero, taste and whatnot. So it fulfilled that thing. But yeah, no, I agree with you, Brandon. I want John Krasinski in there. I want Emily Blunt. Now, the Human Torch and the Thing, I don't care who you cast. Shoot, you can cast The Rock and just let him show up as his bolder self,
Slick.
So, but yeah, no. And then apparently there was another rumor going around that Zac Efron apparently got cast as the Human Torch. Zac Efron hasn't done a superhero movie, let alone I'm okay if he is cast, but in the sense, I just don't see him fitting that role and playing a superhero, that just from everything I've seen with him being movie wise, it's just, he's okay. He ain't the best in the world. I mean, every time somebody says Zac Efron, I think of High School Musical.
Yeah.
Sorry. That's just,
Hey
that's
man,
just me.
hey man, he's more than just High School Musical. Come on, he's
say
a
that.
king.
He's also High School Musical 2 and High School Musical 3.
Musical 3. Come on.
Sorry.
You know?
Sorry. My bad. But I mean, in the sense, how do y'all feel about that? Zac Efron being the Human Torch, you think he would fit that role? I mean, your thoughts, Brandon?
Honestly, I wouldn't hate it. I could kind of see him doing like the cocky, Human Torch kind of attitude, for that he would need for the role. So I don't know. I wouldn't be against it. Of course, it's not really a whole lot of movie experience to kind of build off of to give him credit. So I mean, but I don't know.
Jake, how would you feel about it, man?
I think it's more on the leadership and like the whoever's directing the movie. Like, I really don't think he would struggle because he's probably playing the same cocky character from Baywatch or whatever that he was in. As long as he takes his shirt off, people are gonna like it. Maybe more so on one side than the other. But I'm just saying he has the confidence about him, and so I don't really think he'll have a problem with the role. But with the movie in general, if it's a bust this time, I just say let it die.
Yeah.
Just don't touch it again because you can't seem to figure out how to make it work.
And yeah, I know I agree with you completely, but also you got to put in perspective when those other Fantastic Four movies came out and whatnot, they were not under the supervision and creative control of Kevin Feige. Kevin Feige specifically said, even when you go look at pictures of his office and whatnot, he has a big old like poster comic book of the very first issue of the Fantastic Four. He said multiple times that Fantastic Four is his favorite superhero group out of all the Marvel characters and everything. And I have all my faith that Kevin Feige will deliver a very accurate, good story of the Fantastic Four. But
amen.
yes, sir. So along with casting rumors So we already talked about how we want John Krasinski and Emily Blunt as Mr. Fantastic and Sue Storm, and we kind of picked on the Human Torch there, here or there. Really, I want y'all's opinion about who would you want as Dr. Doom, Victor Von Doom. So I forgot the actor's name from The Mandalorian, the older man from the Rebel. I can't remember his name. It's gonna blow my mind when I Google it. But
are you talking about the guy who
was coming after
like
Baby Yoda? Yeah.
Oh, you're talking about the other guy. Okay.
Give me a second. Okay. Other than that, I mean, guys,
Apollo
is there
Creed.
anybody in particular that y'all would want as Victor Von Doom? Brandon?
I don't know. I haven't really thought about it too much. I don't know. I can't really think of anybody right now.
Is there like an age discrepancy on?
There's really not. Esposito. I can't ever say his first name right. Giancarlo Esposito. He's the one that was going after Baby Yoda in The Mandalorian. That's where a lot of people were like wanting him to be Dr. Doom and everything in the series. But he's also been looked at as playing the older Magneto in the X-Men whenever we get X-Men and whatnot. So if you know who I'm talking about, great. If you don't, I probably butchered his name because I'm bad with names and everything. So, but Jake, who did you say?
Are you talking about Giancarlo Esposito?
Yes. Okay.
He was from Breaking Bad.
Yeah.
That's okay. That's not what I looked up on Google. I can assure you.
That's who I'm talking
First
about.
off,
That's who a lot of people want to play Dr. Doom or older Magneto and everything.
Would it ruin it though if he was like a major villain in one fan's world like Star Wars, and then he's also over here doing kind of the same type of role in another show or movie? It's just I don't know. I like to see one character, like one person play one character, and then once that's over, okay, you can do whatever. But if you're doing two kind of simultaneously, it makes me not believe the character as much, Jordan. I don't know.
Yes and no. I mean, in the sense of how Mandalorian season 2 ended, he was captured by Mando and all them. So who's to say he'll pop back up? I know that's how movies and shows work, but I'm just saying, like, in the sense of you can have stars cross over in different franchises and everything. Like, for example, you have James Gunn, who made his debut with Guardians of the Galaxy. Now he's moved over to Warner Brothers doing Suicide Squad and making a TV show with Peacemaker and everything. So, I mean, granted, you're not seeing him in person on the movie, but in the sense of, what you're kind of talking about is in different franchises and whatnot. I don't think that's really too much of a big deal. At least in my opinion, it won't hurt the character he plays. So, but
I know it has no effect. I just like some closure on a character with a specific actor.
But a lot, and Marvel has said plenty of times they're going with more diversity, adding more people of color and everything along with the movies, because that's a big thing that they want to push to reach everybody in the sense of audience wise. But that's a lot. That was one rumor I saw last year when Mando season 2 came out and everything. And they were like, we want him to play Magneto or Dr. Doom just because of how villainous he was in, The Mandalorian. So
he's so great.
He is. He's a phenomenal actor. I love him.
Go watch him. Go watch Breaking Bad and you'll realize how evil that man can be.
Oh, yeah. And that's why he would make, in my opinion, a great Dr. Doom or, a great Magneto. So, all right, guys. Well, let us know who you want as your Fantastic Four down below in the comments. All right, guys. Here we go with the big topic of the day. Who is the better Spider-Man? Tobey Maguire or Tom Holland? So let me just put in perspective. I put a poll up a couple days ago just because I had a friend message me, was like, man, you know, I was watching Spider-Man the other day and I love Tom Holland, but there's just something about Tobey Maguire Spider-Man that I can never let him down. You know, he's my Spider-Man. So that made me want to put a topic up or a discussion up on my poll and see who was the better Spider-Man out of the people. Now, I will say Tom Holland won by one person, one vote on my poll.
Yeah, that's what I
But
thought.
but in the sense of, you know, a lot of people, it was back and forth all the way up until the poll ended. So, you know, every once in a while when I check, it'd be Tobey Maguire. Every once in a while I check again, it'd be Tom Holland. So, guys, let me hear your choice. Jake, you can go first since you're very passionate about this topic right now.
For me, it's Tobey Maguire. He hit, that was like the first superhero movie. It wasn't Batman back then, didn't do it for me. You couldn't make a Superman movie. It was Spider-Man. Spider-Man was the coolest cat on the block. And Tobey Maguire, it just felt real. It felt authentic. And I don't know, it's my personal preference. Don't get me wrong. I like Tom Holland. I think he's funny. He's good. But he's not a real Spider-Man. Okay, you get the sense of the word I'm saying. He just has a lot of technology. He's not even.
But that's how he was in the
Right.
comic books. He made his
That's
own web
fine.
shooters and
That's
everything.
fine.
So,
But he didn't get bit by no spider. My
Yes, he
guy
did.
is real.
he got bit by a spider. We just never saw it in the MCU because they wanted to tell a different story to where we didn't have to see the origin of how he got a spider bite and how he lost Uncle Ben. They didn't want to do that all over again because in the sense we'd gotten that 2 times already with Tobey Maguire and then of course Andrew Garfield's series, which we're not going to talk about. But
that's the real deal.
I mean, I agree with you. I wouldn't have minded, but in the sense, I understand why they didn't go that route, just because they were tired of getting people to see the tragedy over and over and over again.
That's the best part.
But all right, so we have Jake on the Tobey Maguire side. Brandon, who you got, man?
All right, so for nostalgic reasons, right? I think Tobey Maguire will always have a special place in my heart and in the hearts of a lot of people. You know, I mean, he really was the first hero, you know, that a lot of people got to see. And, you know, the Spider-Man movies were like the first set of movies that really got people interested, you know? Like I grew up on those movies, man. Like that was pre-Iron Man. Those were my favorite movies. You know what I'm saying? But I think objectively, Tom Holland just fits the role better, to be honest. Right? I think objectively, he just the personality of Peter Parker and Spider-Man, you know, the goofiness, the teenage angst, you know what I mean? He manages to fit that role very, very well. And I think he's the best on-screen Spider-Man that we've seen. But Tobey Maguire, I will not accept any Tobey Maguire slander though. He did great. You know, we wouldn't have a Tom Holland Spider-Man if it weren't for Tobey Maguire. Okay, so I'm not slandering his name. He will always have a special place in my heart. But objectively, Tom Holland's the better Spider-Man.
And I'm kind of with you on Brendan on that. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, I went to go see Spider-Man, the very first one in 2002. My mom took me. I remember I was 7 years old exactly, and it was, you know, a great experience. Of course, I was reading the comics, and I was like, my mom was like, "Oh, hey, there's a Spider-Man movie coming out, and you want to go see it?" And I was like, "Yes, of course." Excited, had my Spider-Man costume on and everything, ready to go watch it. Of course, thought the movie was great, and of course, that Spider-Man 2 with Doc Ock, guys, I'm not even gonna lie or front with y'all. That is one of the best. I mean,
Yeah.
one of the best comic book movies you can ask for. Okay.
I hated
Storyline
that
was great.
man.
Wait, who?
Doc Ock.
Oh,
That
you hated
man
that.
was
Hey, look, Alfred
horrible.
Molina, phenomenal actor. And just to think that we may be actually seeing him in the Tom Holland third Spider-Man movie, you know, that blows my mind that they're even trying to attempt to do this. But like, don't get me wrong, I like Tobey Maguire as Spider-Man. I think he was a great Spider-Man, but he wasn't a good Peter Parker in the sense of like, yeah, he got bullied, but I mean, it was just like a kind of a one-off thing from the first movie, and then the second movie really didn't do much with that. I mean, he was in college, he was working, doing pizzas and taking pictures and everything, and then the third movie, I get he was still working at the Bugle, but he wasn't in school or anything. I don't know, I can't remember, but yeah, Jake's doing the famous emo Spider-Man dance and everything.
I did.
So,
I don't know. I think it's the direction with his character versus Tom Holland's is just more of the times rather than
yeah,
like
That's a good point.
a personality of the actor themselves. So like both of them are good. I think they fit. Like his was early mid 2000s and then Tom Holland's is right now. And I don't know. I feel like it plays into their hand a little bit better cuz Tom Holland is a tad bit quirky and weird. And
yeah.
so you can take jabs and use what they're comfortable with. Because I will say, Tobey Maguire doesn't seem like he has a lot of fun in his life, in his real life. He seems like a more sad human being. He's like the polar opposite of Tom Holland. So maybe that has to do with it. I don't know, but I like him. I like them both because Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man sucked.
And in all fairness, you know, Andrew Garfield, I in my poll and debate about it, he was a great Spider-Man, but in the sense he wasn't a good Peter Parker. Like they tried too much with that series, trying to make him more hipster, doing like skateboarding and all this. And don't get me wrong, I think the relationship with Emma Stone's Gwen Stacy, and then of course with Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man and Peter Parker was great. I think that was a phenomenal. That was one of the better parts of the Andrew Garfield series. But I think they just Sony, you know, Sony owns this character, but they try putting too much in on their plate, putting too much dip on their chip, you know, and you know, trying to force all these things to happen all at once. Because with Andrew Garfield's, they're, you know, this is during MCU now. Like we have Marvel Studios. We're in phase 2, I believe, is when, yeah, phase 2. And they're, you know, done set the Avengers up and everything. So Sony wanted to do the same thing with having the Sinister Six pop up with Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man. But of course, the Amazing Spider-Man 2, you have the Green Goblin, a new Green Goblin, and then the Rhino, and then Electro. That is 3 big Sinister Six characters, but you're not giving any backstory on them. You're just throwing them in there in the sense of, you know, you're not telling a good story. And then, of course, with Spider-Man, the character of Spider-Man and everything, I really didn't feel like we really progressed just besides him, you know, keeping the promise to Gwen Stacy's dad at the end of the first Amazing Spider-Man was like, I won't be with her, but then he ends up being with her and then not being with her and then ends up getting her killed by the Green Goblin and everything. So, you know, but the same thing with Spider-Man 3 with Tobey Maguire and whatnot. They try to do the same thing, introduce all these characters, big characters all in one, and it just ends up not being a good movie in the sense of storytelling.
Too many
That's
hands
my
in
thing.
the pot.
Yeah. And that's my thing. Even when I was younger, I kind of looked more towards the storyline than I did, you know, oh, it's Spider-Man and superheroes. Like, I mean, I was reading the comic book, so it's kind of like I want them to tell a good story like I'm reading in the paper, you know. But yeah,
I also
I agree.
like the Green Goblin.
Yeah.
I just hate that William Dafoe is like aged. Like if he was in his prime, like I would love to see a revamp of his character and then Doc Ock. I just like those two are synonymous with
Yeah.
Tobey Maguire.
Well,
The
there's
third movie not that great.
but hey, look, that's also a big rumor going around too, is that William Dafoe is back as Green Goblin in Tom Holland Spider-Man 3 No Way Home. Now, granted, nobody's seen pictures or anything, but somebody close to set has confirmed that you have Jamie Foxx, Alfred Molina as Doc Ock, and then William Dafoe there as Green Goblin, on set and everything. So, he could be back, and they could do the same thing they did with all the other characters from the MCU, is just CGI and de-age them. They did what with Hank Pym and Tony Stark and everything. So, it's possible. They got the money to do it. So
with the way they can CGI literally anything.
Yeah.
So we could get anybody that we really wanted.
Yeah. But I'm with Brandon. My pick would be Tom Holland, and that's not to say Tobey Maguire's not a good Spider-Man and everything, but it's just the fact that reading comic books, to defend my purpose of choosing Tom Holland, he fits both Peter Parker and Spider-Man really well, and you get the benefits of both sides, especially, now a lot of people don't like the fact that Tom Holland Spider-Man is Iron Man Jr. Get that crap out of here, man. Like,
yeah,
in the sense, how else are you going to incorporate Spider-Man, into this big technology-based MCU? I mean, that's basically almost any shape, form, or fashion. In some movie, there is technology that plays a role along with this. And Civil War, when we finally got Spider-Man, just a kid on the block, Tony Stark just pulls up, starting talking to Aunt May, pulls Peter to the side. I know who you are. You're the Spiderling, Spider Kid,
Spider
Boy. Yeah. So
Spider-Man.
So I mean,
I love their relation.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I like the relationship, and a lot of people don't like the fact that Spider-Man in the MCU has mentors. Guys, he had mentors in the comic books. Spider-Man didn't know a lot of things. In the comic books, he was a kid like Tom Holland is in the MCU. Still a kid, a teenager. He doesn't know everything. So he's going to need help. So, and now with Far From Home, I think they kind of made him more, adult, trying to figure out by himself and everything. Yes, he still used Stark technology, but he did it himself, designed him a whole nother suit made completely out of his own webbing, because it's better material in the sense it's not indestructible, but better suited for damage of battle and everything. So that's the reason why I picked Tom Holland, but that's my personal opinion about it. So guys, let us know who you have as the better Spider-Man and Peter Parker. Is it Tobey Maguire? Is it Tom Holland? Let us know down below in the comments. All right. So this last special extra topic today is ranking the Marvel movies from each of us, so our own personal list in that sense. This took some time. My buddy Jake here had to rewatch some movies to catch up and figure out what his list is going to be and everything. So Jake, I'll let you go first, man. Let's hear the list.
I will say, let me just preface this. This list is based off of rewatching movies and how they now tie in. Because if you watched Age of Ultron a while ago, it hits a whole different thing than it does now that we got WandaVision. So just understand. Okay, so I'll start from the bottom and go up.
Okay.
We got obviously Thor, the Dark World. Horrible. Don't waste your time if you just want to save a couple hours. All right. The first and the worst, The Incredible Hulk. If it was Mark Ruffalo in that character, it was already set.
Well, it's funny that you say that. He was actually cast as the Incredible Hulk, and then of course there were scheduling problems, so they went with Edward Norton. So
Yeah. If it was Ruffalo, it may have been better. I don't know that, but it's a snooze fest. As well as Captain Marvel. I will say the second half of Captain Marvel, not so bad as the first half. Then I got uh, Captain America, the first Avenger. I don't know if it's just because I'm not a big fan of Captain Marvel, especially like the solo movies.
yeah,
And then Iron Man 2, Thor, uh, Avengers, Age of Ultron, uh, Ant Man, Guardians of the Galaxy 2, Iron Man 3, Spider Man Homecoming, Iron Man, The Avengers. And so now the top 10, uh, Winter Soldier, Black Panther, Ant Man and the Wasp, underrated, might I say. It's a hilarious movie.
Interesting take.
Guard of the Galaxy, Volume 1. Then we got Spider Man Far From Home, Civil War, Thor Ragnarok. Because one of my favorite characters, Korg, just perfect character. And so
Best
then you
character
got,
in-
yep, he's a great character. I will say, yeah, I agree with you.
he's funny. I wish he could hang out with me in real life. He's just
Good day,
a
mate.
great guy.
Hey man,
Hey, man. All right, steamy hot take. It might be too high on the list for some, but coming in at number 3, Doctor Strange.
Yes,
It is
sir.
such a visually complex and just eye-opening experience with everything that's going on, and it connects
A lot of
everything
movies,
together. It
yeah.
seems like. And okay, so the top 2. My number 1 movie is Infinity War, not Endgame. It just hit different.
Dun, dun,
I was with
dun.
Jordan for both. It hit different
Yes,
when
sir.
Spider-Man got snapped up out of uh Iron Man's Tony Stark's arms. He just put, I don't feel good, Mr. Stark. So yeah, I just I love Infinity War more than Endgame, but yeah, that's my list.
All right. Not a bad list. Not a bad list. I'm kind of shocked at some of them, to be honest with you, moved it up. I know Doctor Strange was kind of in the top 5, but then you moved them up to 3. Jeez.
I
All right,
rewatched
Brandon.
it and I was just like, yeah.
All right, Brandon, man. Let's hear your list, man.
All right. So I feel like honestly, my list and Jake's are kind of similar. So
Really?
shout
Okay.
out, man. That was a good list, man. So
Thank you.
okay. Now I'm also gonna preface this with these are honestly just based on my personal enjoyment. Um, some of them I've rewatched like a lot, and some of them I haven't. Like I haven't watched probably either of the Thor movies or Incredible Hulk since they came out.
Fair enough.
So with that in mind, starting from the bottom, like Drake. So at the very bottom of the list is Thor: The Dark World, because I have absolutely no recollection of what even happens in this movie. Okay. After that is the first Thor movie. Again, barely any recollection except for the Destroyer guy.
Pain.
After that, I have Incredible Hulk. Now, the reason I have Incredible Hulk ahead of Thor is because I remember watching Incredible Hulk in theaters, and honestly, I mean, when I first saw it, I liked it. You know, and obviously with everything coming afterwards, it's pale in comparison to everything else. But I don't know, I like it better than either of the first 2 Thor movies, man. Okay, after Incredible Hulk, we have Captain America, the First Avenger. Sorry, I'm not a big fan of that movie. I'm just not. I'm just not. After that, we have Iron Man 3. You know, largely forgettable. I didn't like the storyline.
Really? That's one of my favorite like movies. Like Iron Man 3, I thought, it was different how we got from the first Iron Man and second Iron Man, and then of course in the Avengers. So I thought that played a really good storyline in the sense of Tony's character and everything. So that's interesting. Now continue. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. I mean, like in terms of his character arc, yeah, I like that part about it. But I don't know, man. Overall, I just didn't like the whole fact of just him, just kind of being shacked up with the kid for like half the movie.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So yeah. After Iron Man 3, I have Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. I wasn't a fan of that, honestly. I didn't really like Ego too much. Um, first one was a lot better.
Mm-hmm.
After that, we have Captain Marvel, which I've only watched one time, and it was okay. It was okay. I like Brie Larson as Captain Marvel, I do, but they could have done a lot better with the movie. I think. I think the sequel will probably be a lot better because we get.
Yeah, especially with that everything that happened in WandaVision. It has the potential to be a really good sequel in the sense of all these characters and everything. So yeah, I agree with you on that.
Oh yeah. Then after that, we have Far From Home. Again, I've only watched it once, so I've been meaning to watch it again. So honestly, once I watch it again, I may end up moving it further up. But for right now, that's where it's gonna go. Then after that, we have Ant-Man and the Wasp, which is pretty good. You know what I mean? It was important, but I didn't like it as much as the first Ant-Man, to be honest. Okay. After that, we have Age of Ultron, then Winter Soldier, and then Iron Man 2, which honestly, a lot of people don't like Iron Man 2, but I actually really like Iron Man 2.
Really?
Yeah. I don't know. I just, I like that it focuses a lot on, Hammer Industries, and then the Russian guy. Honestly, I kind of like him. What was his name?
Pietro Ivan. Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I liked it. And then that was also our first time seeing Don Cheadle as
interesting recast, the story behind that, but
yeah. Then we have Ant-Man coming in at number 11. Hilarious. Like, I was dying in theaters when I saw it, man. Like, okay, now we're at the top 10. So coming in at number 10, we have Spider-Man Homecoming. Okay, I think they definitely did him justice with this movie. Tom Holland, great job. We already had this discussion. Coming in at number 9, I have Coming in at number 9, I have the first Avengers movie, which is really good. Coming in at number 8, I have Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 1. Great movie, even better soundtrack, man. Seriously.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that soundtrack.
The soundtracks are the best.
Slapped. Yes, sir.
All right. Well, that was 8. Coming in at number 7, I have the OG, triple O original Iron Man. Started it all. And overall, great movie. Like, great movie.
Oh, yeah.
Coming in at number 6, we have Wakanda Forever, Black Panther. For so many reasons, you know what I'm saying? Rest in peace to Chadwick Boseman.
Man.
Okay, now we're getting to the top 5. Number 5, I have Civil War. Number 4, I have Doctor Strange.
Yes.
Okay, and come on now, Doctor Strange is one of the best solo movies in Marvel. I don't know why a lot of people don't like it, but it's a fantastic movie. And I think every person that they cast in Doctor Strange is literally perfect for their role.
Like,
oh yeah, no, I agree with you on that, man. I love Doctor Strange. I rewatched it the other day just so I can have the taste of what was happening and everything again. So.
Yep, I'm about to do the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Top 3. Number 3, Thor Ragnarok. I think they completely redeemed his character and his storyline, and the way that number 1, it's a fantastic movie, and then the way that it sets up everything else afterwards and just completely I think makes people interested in Thor again. Like they literally made Thor great again with Ragnarok because those first two movies were not it, bro.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
they put in a lot of hefty work on this. All right, top two. Number one, Infinity War. I like Infinity War better than Endgame too. For honestly the same reasons as Jake, man. And then seeing all the heroes come together for the first time and the introductions, like there will never be another like moment like Tony Stark meeting Doctor Strange, along with Bruce Banner and the conversations that they have. And then like when they're all on the planet and they meet the Guardians of the Galaxy, you know, and Spider-Man, and they're just all, you know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I agree with you. That's a good list. I'll give you that. I'm shocked at some of them, to be honest with you, but that's a good list right there, Brandon. Yeah.
Thank
All
you.
right. Here we go. Mine may stir up a little pot here, but it'd be all right. All right. So
Lord.
at the bottom, the very bottom. So we're going from worst to the best. Got Thor Ragnarok, Thor Dark World. Sorry.
Ooh, I was finna
Thor.
say.
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry. I saw Thor Ragnarok on my list, and that was the first thing. Okay. So the worst on my list is Thor the Dark World. Okay. Like I said, that movie, all over the place. Yes, it has an Infinity Stone in it, but in all honesty, they could have moved it to somewhere else and it would have been a whole lot better. Give or take. All right. 22, The Incredible Hulk. Just trash. Just absolute trash. At 21, we have Thor, the first Thor movie. The acting in it is just bad all over. Who I don't care. Even Tom Hiddleston, Loki, trash in that movie. Now he's gotten better. I love Loki as a character now with all the other stuff happening. But first Thor, trash. All right. At 20, we got Captain America, the first Avenger. For what they were trying to make as a period piece and everything, it was a decent movie, but it just did not hit the same as some of these other movies for me.
No.
At 19, we have Iron Man 2. I'm like you, Brandon. I like the characters and everything in it, but the storyline just wasn't it for me. You know, it was kind of all over the place. And I think they kind of played into Tony Stark's crazy wildness, alcoholic kind of thing from the comic books way too early. Introduced that way too early, in my opinion. But I will say the end sequence with the fighting and everything with War Machine and Whiplash and everything, pretty solid. Pretty solid. Okay. All right. At number 18, we have Captain Marvel. I enjoy the movie. Not to say I don't. I like Brie Larson as Captain Marvel. But like Jake has said before, the first half kind of, a little sluggish. And I'll say that it was sluggish, but the other half, the second half, pretty good. Got better as it went on. So, and the crazy thing is, a lot of people don't know this. Brie Larson actually shot Endgame before shooting Captain Marvel. So, that could play along with how, her acting and everything, went along with there. So, all right. At number 17, y'all may hate me for this, but I have Avengers Age of Ultron. Now, granted, when I made this list, this is before everything that happened in WandaVision. So take that with a grain of salt, okay? This is just from what I've seen before Phase 4, okay? So at number 16, we have Ant-Man. Great movie. I'm not dogging it. Just all these other movies before it just did it better for me, okay? At number 15, we have Guardians of the Galaxy, Volume 2. I'm like you, Brandon. That sequel, it was a good sequel, but it didn't hit the same as the first one. So,
yeah.
All right. At number 14, we have Iron Man 3. Great story. I like the character arc and everything. I like the end when you have 70 bazillion different Iron Man suits. That's what I wanted. That's all I got. And that's what I needed. Cool. So, all right. At number 13, we have Ant-Man and the Wasp. That movie, I will say it plays big into the overall MCU storyline. I will say, especially in Infinity War and Endgame, yes. But I will say that they tried to push Wasp as a really, really big, important character. And, they didn't really write her that well in that sense, in my opinion. So, all right. At number 12, we have Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 1. Great movie. A lot of people didn't know who the Guardians of the Galaxy were. I knew who they were, but not in the sense of like, okay, yeah, I'm glad they're doing this movie. I was kind of skeptical at first because this little group of, heroes is very different from like the Avengers and everything. So, but James Gunn made it work. And by God, that was a fantastic movie. Okay. Oh, yeah. At number 11, we have Spider-Man Homecoming. Don't worry. I'll explain that when I get to the other one. Okay. All right. So now we're in the top 10. Top 10. All right. At number 10, we have Captain America, the Winter Soldier. Okay. By God, that is the best action MCU movie you could ask for. It was a thriller. Okay. You could not ask for better acting from Chris Evans. It got better. I don't know what happened. I don't know who taught him, helped him learn, but his acting got better. And then, of course, you got Winter Soldier being introduced. Phenomenal. And then, of course, Hydra, the whole backstory about Hydra taking over. Great. Overall, the Russo brothers, I know the reason why they got picked to direct Endgame and Infinity War. So, all right. At number 9, we have Far From Home. I will say this is the first time I will say a sequel was better than the original, the first. I will say it. Now, a lot of people probably agree with me on that. Y'all probably don't agree with me on that, Jake and Brandon. But in all honesty, that is a movie that is a sequel that is better than the first.
I like the sequel better.
Yeah. All right.
Interesting.
All right. At number 8. At number 8, we have Black Panther. Okay. Not to say, all these other movies just hit differently for me, but Black Panther was a great movie too. I remember taking my 2 younger brothers with me and everything, and they loved the movie just as much as I did. So at number 7, y'all are going to hate me for this, but Doctor Strange.
That's fair.
I just saw Jay just, but
look, it's fair.
Yeah. And not to say
I got it at number 3.
Yeah. And not to say I did not really enjoy Doctor Strange. I love Doctor Strange. The whole visual effects, the whole idea of multiverse and all this and the magic and everything, spot on. Like, and then apparently with Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness of everything, they're going with the more comic book accurate costume of him. So if just Google a picture of Doctor Strange from the comic books, that's the look they're going for. Somebody did confirm that the other day on Twitter that's working close with the production group and everything. So
is it gonna look like Gary from SpongeBob?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Then
my thing is with Doctor Strange, the first movie was like, I wanted him to have the yellow gloves, but we didn't get that until Thor Ragnarok when he's there telling Thor where Odin is and everything with the gloves. And that's because of Taika Waititi. He wanted a more accurate costume, which by all means, a lot of people are going to hate that I'm saying this, but it's like comic book costumes don't translate that well to reality, our reality and everything. Like you have to monetize it and, make it look good for a camera. So not everything looks good from the comic books to the movies. Okay. All right. At number 6, we have Thor Ragnarok. I agree with you, Brandon. They reamped this character and I'm so glad they had Taika Waititi direct and definitely changed the character to be really good. The comedy in it, honestly, that's what got me. Yeah. And a lot of people don't know this. Taika Waititi was in the Green Lantern movie with Ryan Reynolds, which was an absolute bomb, by the way, if you've never seen that movie. So don't watch it. All right. At number 5, we have Captain America Civil War. My top 5. Like that's one movie right there that will always be one of my favorites, just because the way the storytelling went on along with all these other characters, So we got the better relationship of Wanda and Vision. And then you have all these other characters, Hawkeye, not Scarlet Witch, the Black Widow, Iron Man, Spider-Man, Black Panther, Captain America, Winter Soldier, all these characters. That's a lot. That is a lot. But they made the storyline work, and it was phenomenal, especially the end fighting battle between Cap, Iron Man, and Winter Soldier. Could not ask, man. Could not ask for a better fight sequence and all that. All right. At number 4, we have The Avengers. Okay. That movie, phenomenal. I remember getting off work at McAllister's, 3 a.m. not 3 a.m., 3 p.m. in the afternoon. My buddy was like, hey, man, The Avengers just got out. You trying to go see it? I looked at him. I was like, yes. Went to go see it. And it was great. I will remember that day for all my life. That was just a great movie. At number 3, we have the OG Iron Man. Literally the MCU's best origin story. You can fight me on that. I don't care what you say. That movie was great, especially in the sense there was not a full script written before they started shooting the movie. They were writing as they were going. So that, in my opinion, that shows just how much Jon Favreau and Kevin Feige put into making the MCU what it is today. And then, of course, we wouldn't have the MCU if it wasn't for Iron Man. So, all right. Big toss-up right here. Here we go.
Oh, gosh.
At number 2, we have Infinity War.
Pain.
I know that. Yeah, look, both of y'all. Look, now Jake saw my reaction at both Endgame and Infinity War.
Y'all ever want to see a grown man cry?
Oh, balling, my guy, balling.
It was sad. Everybody in there was like, they were blaring Marvin's Room. Like, it was sad.
Jake, now, granted, this is before Jake started getting into the MCU. I think it was Black Panther or Thor Ragnarok that you started coming to see the movies with me with.
I saw Black Panther with you. That was the first one. I had seen Doctor Strange, but that was just one time. But that Black Panther and then Infinity War, that's when I really started to realize.
Of course, everybody in here near the end of Infinity War where Thanos stabs Tony, I just Jake's the only one. I remember this distinctly. Jake was the only one not super shocked and was not crying. Other than that, I remember him saying, dude, literally everybody in here was crying. He's like, you were crying. The dude beside me was crying. People in front of us were crying. It blew my mind that the Avengers lost. And that
don't be a casual like me.
He's gotten better, guys. He's gotten better.
And the next time I saw it, after seeing everything, it hurt.
Yeah.
It hurt different.
And at number 1, guys, we have Endgame. And let me explain why. Yes, Endgame, the storyline was kind of a little wobbly, not too bad. But guys, from what I've experienced and what I've read, the comic books and everything, and then seeing these movies as they are released, as I was getting older and older and everything, Endgame just kind of finalized that storytelling, starting with the MCU, in my opinion. And just the fact that you finally get Captain America to say Avengers, assemble. It was teased at the end of Age of Ultron, don't get me wrong, but it was the fact that they went back, fixed a few things here and there from the bad movies, like Thor: The Dark World, with Thor and his mom talking, and then all this, they fixed a lot of stuff that was, kind of messed up and everything along with that. But Endgame, that just hit home with me. For example, I have the original Infinity Gauntlet book. You see how thick this book is?
Yeah.
I read this as a kid. So this book is the movies are based off, Infinity War and Endgame are based off of this book. They just pick different elements from each one. But like for me to see that book on the picture on the big screen, and then how Endgame kind of, overall closed the storyline of this chapter of the MCU, it's at my number one. And like I said, of course, Brendan and Jake's, they have theirs flipped for mine, but that's my reasoning behind my top two. And not to say they're both not great movies. I've seen almost every single MCU movie at least 50 times. Endgame has been watched at least 150, at least. That movie stays on repeat.
To that personally, I would.
It'd be all right.
To that.
It's okay.
That
It's okay. I love my Marvel. Okay, I love my MCU, but like I said, I gave some reasons behind my MCU list. Guys, down below in the comments, let us know, how do you feel about our rankings of the movie? Do you think some of these could have been higher, could have been lower, and everything? Let us know down in the comments below. All right, Jake and Brandon. Well, that will do it for our podcast, ladies and gentlemen. I appreciate all the support and everything that y'all have been doing, giving me views and everything on YouTube, getting a lot of positive reviews and everything for it. A lot of people still chiming in and giving me questions and things to talk about. So, all right. Well, Brandon, Jake, I do appreciate y'all being here today and everything. So, guys, we'll catch you on the next episode of the Dan Talk Podcast. Peace.